parents, we've had this question many times in the past in many different ways. Besides for all the expenses and things that we do for our children, and especially our kids, there are some expenses that we have where we feel like there's no benefit. You put $500 in the kid's hand and they say, wow, you get a hug, beautiful. You get a bill at the end of the month for a credit card bill that he doesn't see and doesn't know about, and it's $8,000, and you get a credit card, then that doesn't really accomplish seemingly this nafshei kshura b'nafshei moment. It's like just wasted money. And over time, compared to when I started, it got worse and worse. Because now between Uber Eats, and Amazon, you could have incredible amounts of stuff that you are providing. And okay, memela, you provided it, and each time you get a hug, and each time you bond. I made you supper, I got you lunch, I got you pajamas, I got you sneakers, I got you a helicopter, I got you, whatever it is that you're getting, at least there's like a feeling that I'm providing for bonding purposes. But now all of a sudden the credit card and the apps come along, and it's like, it just happens. And what happens is, the mind of many of our kids, and some spouses as well, they don't keep cheshbon of exactly how much they spend. I'm sure many people here have the same issue. And it tips you off a little bit when the credit card bill comes with UPS. You know what I'm saying? That's just a little tip. When all of a sudden, it's like, the thing UPS, and he has one of those hand trucks, right? And you're like, what's that? And it's like, it says, your credit card bill. Okay? So you could develop some heart problems from that, and it's very difficult. So here's what we're up against. We are talking about sick kids where we're not doing chinuch, and we want to provide. First of all, over these years, you shouldn't think it's a waste. Avada, I dream that all the money should have the maximum NKN, to nafshei kshura b'nafshei, the maximum bonding, but even on the ones that don't, it's not a waste, because you are providing for them what they need, because they are dysfunctional. They cannot deal any other way. So the question is just, not that it's a waste, we have to provide for them. This parent came home after a few hours away, and this kid was 24, and he said, where were you? I was starving. And she's like, I'm so sorry I was late. What do you want? Frozen pizza. That's tough. Why didn't you put it in the oven? That's all I do. There's no recipe. A 10-year-old knows how to do that. Even younger, what age do kids start putting frozen pizza in the oven, I have a friend of mine that had this little kid. He was doing eggs and omelets when he was like 5, So you're 24, you're an adult, you're hungry, you're getting frustrated because mommy's not there, and all you're asking for is not like this grand recipe. You want frozen pizza. It's in the oven, and they can't do it. So it's much easier to swipe, and then for their friends some food, and then they're very generous. Priority delivery, because I'm hungry, I'm in a rush. If I wanted to starve and wait on a bread line, I would go back to Poland. But of course, priority delivery. Who wouldn't want priority delivery? I'm not planning to eat when I'm hungry. It's not like I'm going to be hungry at 7, I order at 6. I'm going to be hungry at 7, and it's 9. So I'm chalishing and dying because the planning by kips doesn't work out so well, right? And I'm dying. So of course, if it's going to be here priority and I pay $17 fee, of course, what's the question? Am I supposed to die? So you add all of that. We had kids who were so kind that when their friends needed a ride, they used their Uber account. Now, why? Because it's free. Because they never get a bill, and I think it's paid by God. It's unbelievable. It's paid by Hashem. All these things, you swipe, and it's like it goes into Uber heaven, right? And Amazon heaven, and it's just boxes come, and why would you stop? And many times they don't even open it. And many times you have piles of stuff. We had one kid who just bought, but the parents were smart. They got a $1,500 bill, they returned it, and they recycled that $1,500 every 3 days. They kept on returning it, buying new stuff. They try it on, it's not my this, you have piles of stuff. You can do lots of different stuff. But the coats didn't work, the pants didn't fit, the shoes wouldn't fit. Keep the tags, run a little business, and you get it all back, and you get to buy as many times as you want, and it doesn't cost you any money. There was once a father that he got close to his son, And he said, could you do me a favor, take me shopping? I need your help. So the son said, sure, they like helping us. They went to Century 21. He said he spent like 3 hours there. He had such a fun time. And they went up the escalator the wrong way. He, mamish, acted like a teenager with his son. They took pictures in the booth, in the kissing booth together. They had a great day. It was beautiful. And he bought like $1,000 worth of clothing that his son thought he should wear. He's a very conservative guy. His basic colors are white and black. But his son felt that the red pants and the yellow shirt and the turtleneck and the earmuffs and everything would be a good look. And the suit that he paid for like $700, he just got everything. And he told me, Avi, this was amazing. I had hours of just everything he told me. Wow, great, you're such a great shopper. You're amazing, you're fantastic. I love it, it's great. He said, we went home and we spent that money, we spent that time. The next day I went back and I returned it. Cost me nothing. Okay. Yeah, right. Eventually he's going to hop and say, hey, where's that light gray suit I bought you with the yellow tie? Most kids, right? A lot of them won't even realize. So it goes into Amazon and Uber heaven. The question is, so again, you have to provide, this is our kips. We're talking about the kids who need it under your Das Torah. For those watching, it's not for regular chinuch. Regular chinuch is a different story that I don't talk about. You have to keep them happy without stress. Because the idea is you'll bond with them, keep them stress-free, the brain heals, and they can become normal. This is something the world doesn't understand. They're so worried they're going to be spoiled. They're not going to be spoiled. They're so worried they can take advantage of you. No. You're putting a cast on their brain that they shouldn't experience any pressure, and you're letting the brain heal. And I have no doubt, 5 or 10 years from now, it's going to be a study, and they're going to show amazing thing that just like the arm can heal when you put a cast on it, and just like the legs can heal when you put a cast on it, so too the nerves that you can't deal with pressure can heal when you put a cast on them and you don't allow them to have it. So it's not a waste of money. Question is how you can maximize it. So I'll tell you advice that I gave to a very close friend of mine here in TP, and it'll work in different ways for each person in your individual situation, but basically this was the problem. The problem was, we're giving him, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, and then the bill comes, Heart Attack City, 2,000, 3,000, and we're not even accomplishing, we'll give it to him, if that's what he needs, but we want to get something, we want appreciation for it. So this is what I told him. They told him, we have very bad news. The credit card company closed all of our accounts. Mommy doesn't have a credit card, I don't have. They shut down all of our, apparently, when you don't pay the bill, they get very upset. I called the credit card company, I told them, don't take it personally. I told them, use the Yud Gimel Midas, Rachamim, and apparently it just, it's a problem because they need to be paid. So our family now is going to be run on a cash basis. Have no fear. You will lose nothing. You can have everything. I'm happy to give you. It's going to be a little difficult, but you're going to have everything. Don't worry. It's not a money issue. Mommy's going to have money. Everyone's going to have money, but it's going to be cash only. So here's what we're going to do. Here's a $200 or $500 debit card that I want you to use for your Uber Eats and for your stuff, right? And when it runs out, it's not a problem. I'm going to give you money. I'll give you another one, or I'll refill it for you. Not a problem. And anything that you want to buy, you let me know. We're going to give cash. We're going to pay for it cash. We're going into cash. And in the meantime, here's $500. The kid went ahead, who was spending $500 a week, not just going out to fancy restaurants, paying for all his friends, right? Because they're, it's very funny. It was like a father took out his son after they bonded and took him to a nice restaurant, expensive restaurant. At the end of the meal, the bill came. The kid tells his father, Tati, it's okay, it's on me, and paid with his father's credit card. Like there's a disconnect, right? But you know what? Let's be honest. Don't we do the same thing with Hashem's credit card? Hashem gives us life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness and health and all these things. And then sometimes, Grace Geber, you're giving from God's credit card. Like sometimes people give tzedakah. Klal Yisrael is unbelievable when it comes to tzedakah, right? But sometimes a person looks like he's giving so much and he's giving less than he's supposed to because he made so much money. Like, what's the big deal? Hashem gives a person $100,000 and he feels so good, I gave $10,000. It comes from Hashem. Some people make $1 million and they give 20,000. They're giving less, but Groise Geber, this is, So we also sometimes don't exactly appreciate everything that we should. There's a lot of stuff that we get from Hashem that we don't appreciate and show appreciation. We try to. We're supposed to. Ilufinu mali shira kayam, ulashenenu rina kamagal. Ein anachnu maspikim. It's true. Feeling it each time that Hashem gives us a little something, we try. Lately, the thank you Hashem is amazing. We didn't grow up with this. It really, people post, thank you Hashem, and it's the least we can do, right? And that's what we want you to get. Thank you, Tati, thank you, Tati. So this kid was spending money like the bills were so much money. Father gave him $500, and this was less than the kid spent ever. But the cash in his hand, and he said, whoa, $500, thank you so much, big hug. And he spent much less, because when he went out to eat, instead of swipe, he went out to eat. So the only thing we need to swipe for is the Uber Eats and the Amazon. We still don't have any other way to do that. So we try to go with an Amazon card, Uber. Here's my credit card just for Uber. It's limited damage. We try. But all the other stuff, we don't have credit cards anymore. Cash. You need something, you give me. Every time that they give you, you smile, you say, of course, no problem, and do my trick and give more. Everybody remembers my trick? The purpose of this trick is to calm them down. They take less. It's an investment. And this is what I learned from Sai, my friend Simcha, the sushi boat. Remember the story? So, this is a story, a true story. All my stories are true. I learned this, mamish, living with home sweet home kids and not understanding anything and learning from them. So every night of the week, we had people that took them out to eat and out for fun, different stuff. Sunday night, Matzah Shabbos was usually pizza. Sunday night would be a restaurant. Monday night they went for fun. We brought women in the neighborhood, dropped off food, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday night, again, a little bit of food outside, cholent and whatever. And all of a sudden, they come back one Matzah Shabbos, and they're singing, Sai is great. Sai is, Simcha, we love you, we love you. My friend Sai, Simcha, right? And I'm like, what happened? And they said, instead of pizza, he got us a sushi boat. Pizza would have cost him, let's say, $30. The sushi boat was $80. And he became, for $80, the king. He became the most favorite person in the world. And I was thinking, I took you off the street. I am paying all the expenses. I got you the beds. I got you the linen. I got you a job. I put together this program. I introduced you to Sai. I take care of all of your problems. When you're sick, I take you to the doctor. I care for you. I care about you. I hook up every volunteer that your whole world, I did. Everything in this new world that saved you from being homeless and in dark places and bringing you to wherever you're going. This world, I created. I created this world for you, and I give you everything. I have women bringing over food. I have hosts taking you out. I give you everything. I pay for your heat. I pay for your electricity. I pay for your everything. And I'm just a guy. And Sai, with his sushi boat, becomes king of your world. How does it make any sense? And parents, you can relate. Parents can relate. I do everything for you. I will die for you. I'm the only, and your stupid pimply friend, he's the one that you love because he gave you $20, or because, you know who they love? They love the underage kids. Love the Spanish guy that sits in front of the store and sells them cigarettes because they can't go inside. I love. He's there for me. Julio is my friend. He cares about me because you don't care about me. He cares about me because I come and he gives me a cigarette and he sells singles, and he's there for me. You know who really is there for me? My drug dealer. He doesn't ever complain. He's always available. He's delivery. No Uber weed. It's always on time. He's always there, always happy to see me. Wonderful, right? No grief. These are people that I can count on. And so, as parents, you're like, I give you everything from you're born till now. You could say, Ilufinu mali shira kayam. Could a child ever really be thankful to the parents for every single thing you did? Every diaper change, every expense, every sleep at night that you did, and a sushi boat. The guy who gave you the cell phone, or the guy who, whatever. What's going on over here? So I felt very much at that moment in Home Sweet Home like a parent. No hakara satayv for anything I do, and this guy gets all the hakara satayv. And I also felt very much like Hashem, because that's the way we are. We don't thank Hashem for every single thing we get. And the idea is that kids have told me, and have told parents, and it's disgusting, but they've done it, I don't owe you anything. We didn't vote. You decided to have a kid. So you have an achrayus. You have a responsibility to take care of your child. You didn't do it for me. You did it for you. You diapered me. What, you weren't going to diaper me? You take care of me. That's your job. You signed up for it. I don't know what you want from me. The Home Sweet Home mentality at that point was, Avi, dude, you decided to open a home. You wanted to do this. You said you're going to provide all these things. So even if it's $100,000 of providing for us, it's your responsibility. You're the one who signed up for that. And maybe we could say, Chas v'shalom, Rachmana litzlan, present company excluded. Some people might feel like that towards Hashem. Listen, God, I should thank you for putting the sun. You signed up for this. You created a world. You decided there'll be gravity. So I should thank you for gravity? I don't remember being asked about this little project. You did this. This is what you wanted to do. Maybe you mean my benefit. I hear you. But we don't thank Hashem for everything. We can't, because we would be so thankful we would never have room to complain. So I felt in Home Sweet Home like parents feel, and maybe like Hashem feels. But what's pshat? What's pshat? And then I realized that's the mentality. We have an agreement. I took you off the street and I told you, here's a beautiful house and I'm going to be here for you and I'm going to give you. That's my responsibility. People don't feel appreciation. But when you're supposed to buy pizza, and they wouldn't show appreciation for that. They'd say, yeah, thanks for the pizza, but that's your job. It's what you want to be a volunteer. You wanted to do a mitzvah. You want to be nice. But you only did what you were supposed to do. But when you exceed what you're supposed to do, that proves to the child, I guess you really like me. Because you only had to give us pizza, and you gave us a sushi boat. So that means you're being meitav to me for me, not just doing your job. So Sai became great. Oh, wow, unbelievable. He's the most amazing person in the world. And Avi Fishoff, you signed up for this. Parents, you signed up for this. I don't owe you nothing. Owe you? I wasn't there. You never asked me if I wanted to be born to this stupid family anyway. And if you would have asked me, I would. And children have said this in a more rude, chutzpahdik way to parents, which I'm not going to say in this company, where they have said, many of you know, have heard the way that they talk about not being asked if they were supposed to be born, and just because you decided that you wanted to have a kid, it's not my fault, and lamuchup, I don't owe you anything. Now, that's not a normal feeling, but we all struggle with it, even with Hashem, and over time, they will appreciate you. But right now, they don't. But here's what I chapped. Aha. So what happens if I give them a sushi boat? What happens if instead of spending $100,000 on them and raising it and whatever, what if I gave them something more than I signed up for? What would happen then? So you know what the answer is? So instead of $100,000, I spent $103,000. And that extra $3,000 during the year, where I did extra stuff that I didn't have to do, made them think, Avi's great. Avi's amazing. And they appreciated me. But then a miracle happened. They didn't just appreciate the $3,000. They started to appreciate everything else. They started to appreciate the $100,000. I got $103,000 of validation and appreciation from an investment of $3,000. Because once they started to appreciate me, they started to realize, yeah, and he also gives us electricity. Oh, wow. And we got an upgrade, but he also paid for the ticket. And then we went there and he got us, and they started, their eyes and minds and hearts started to open. So when you give your child, above what you need to, you open their mind, not just child, anybody, any relationship. It's a secret. Listen to the secret. You could have somebody that costs you a lot of money. They're going to ask you for money and you're going to give them money. And they're not going to appreciate it. But if you can do this extra thing, they will have so much appreciation for you. They will have you could have a worker. And the worker says, can I have something, something? And you say, yes, no. But when you say yes, and they say, you know what, and take another half a day off, I think you need it, they're going to feel so much appreciation that they'll appreciate the 2 days that you gave them up also. Because the relationship between an employee and an employer is, even a good one, I got to get as much as I can from him. Yeah, he let me go off. He let me take off for 2 days. But not because he really cares to. I managed to take away. It's like, what can I steal from him? What can I get? What can I get from my parents? They go into their parents, they ask them for $100, and they get $100. Baruch Hashem, I got what I wanted. I was able to get $100. I was able to get $50. But there's no appreciation, there's no feeling that you want to give me. So what you do is as follows. Can I have money? Sure. How much do you think you need? I think I need $50. Of course, I love you. Here's $50. Enjoy yourself. You turn around, you walk away, and you say, hang on a second. Here's another $10, just because I love you. Look at his face. He will appreciate not just the 10, he will appreciate the 50. Now, you can't do the same move every single time. After 35 times of walking away and saying, and here's another 20. No, you can't do the same thing every time, but the same concept. I'll tell you personally, I did it with my son. He needed some money for something. I said, okay, fine. I said, here's an extra because I love you. Now, the first part, which was the bulk of the money, was also because I love him. But he didn't know that because I had to. This now that I'm giving this to you because I like you is better. I love you, I like you is even better. That kashers up all the money that they should know. It's because I love you. And that creates a tremendous amount of hakaras hatov. Tremendous amount. So when they ask for something, you say, I hear what you're saying. And either different ways of doing it, but you give them more. That extra 10% or 20% more will cause them to appreciate it. So now, what you're doing here is you're switching to a cash business. Cash only. Unfortunately, credit cards are maxed out now, but don't worry, we have cash. And you'll figure out each kid, each situation. For one kid, it's $100. For one kid, it's $500. For one kid, in your situation, might be $1,000. We have to figure out each kid what you're gonna, and they're gonna feel it. And then you say, you know what? Here's another 100. Just keep it in your wallet in case you need it, just because I love you. And when you do these things, and you're opening up their heart, that's the time to make your move. That's the time to say, I could really use a hug. And to get that hug that you never got. Remember, TP hug is an embrace. You don't pat, you don't move things around, you don't do anything. You hold your child, and you don't let go first. And I taught that once here to two parents, and then one of them walked in, he had a child, and the other one said, Mazel Tov, and they gave him a hug, and they were both stuck here for 4 days, because neither of them wanted to let go first. It's an embrace, and you have to learn how to be romantic with your child. When you give your wife a special gift, that's the time to say, I love you, and get something romantic to deepen the relationship. When you give your kid a gift, it's not a business transaction. Some parents do it so cold. It's like, hello, this is the time to get in. You hold your kid and you say, I'll always be here for you. I got your back. We're in this together. You got to figure out what to say beforehand, and you can write it on your hand, and when you hold it, what does it say? I'll always be here for you. No, be here for you. Memorize it beforehand. It's not that hard. And say romantic, beautiful, loving things that go into the nefesh hayeled. You're using it to heal them. The healing is, Imay anachi b'tzara. I'm with you. You're not alone. I got your back. I got your back. I once had a problem with somebody. A guy called me up. He said, Avi, I got your back, and if necessary, I got your front. I'll stand in front of you if I need to. It was very powerful. Nobody ever got my front before. A lot of people got my back. I was thinking about it. I don't need you in my back. That means I'm already gone. Get my front. I'm here for you. I will protect you. You'll never be alone. So something happens, and they're shaken, and you come there and you give them, and it's yitain v'yachse v'yitain. Yitain v'yachse v'yitain. That's the genius of Hashem. What does it mean? The Medrash says it should say yitain l'cha elikim. Hashem will give you. It doesn't say that. It says, V'yitein l'cha elikim. And Hashem will give you. Why does it say, and Hashem will give you? Because Yitein v'yachse v'yitein. Hashem tells you, furos, up front, I'm going to give you, and I'm going to continue to give you. I'm going to give, and I'm going to give, and I'm going to give. But then we're going to be spoiled. People who say that don't understand the relationship between parents and children. You tell your child, I will always be here for you. You got a ticket, Yitein, trust me, v'yachse v'yitein. It's going to happen again, and I will take care of you again. Why? Because then they heal, and you'll see they end up getting less wild, and then they calm down because they have parents. If you have parents, you don't want to die. If you have parents, you don't speed as much. All the stuff that's out there in the streets that we're trying to combat is from kids that don't feel that they have parents. We don't have bli ayin hara, we don't have craziness because our kids are calm. Why? Because you're giving them parents. That's the only thing you can give them. Parents. So use the money wisely. The idea is when you give them the cash and then you give them the yitein v'yachse v'yitein and they know that and they're confident and you do this and this is because I like you and this is because I care and here's a little bit extra, then hopefully be'ezus Hashem b'karev you'll see the spending goes down. Ki yodua liyoidei kip. It goes down. When? For some people it's quicker, for some people it takes a little bit longer. But we always win this. When they can, they will. I hope I answered your question.